can we talk about dating in your 40s in 2025? Because it's just literally a minefield of head and I'm sorry, what? Like, convince me otherwise. All of my girlfriends are the same. They're all hot, smart, intelligent, funny women, and it's just the same. They either want a pen pal, they either swipe and then never message. So what are we doing? I, where? How are people meeting? How?
Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a video for you here today from Men Only titled Older Women Are Panicking Because Men Are Blocking Them. And it's funny because they forget, right, that men actually have the ability to block them as well and to ignore them and to just not listen to what they have to say. Now, today's video was suggested to me by Locke the Bounty Hunter. I'm going to leave both of their channels linked in the pinned comments, so make sure you go and subscribe to these guys. Don't forget to leave your own comments, and let's jump right into the video.
I'm in such disbelief by what I just witnessed and what I just heard. I mean, I was at Save On Foods and there was a couple in front of me, young, probably like mid to late 20s. And the girl was standing in line and I could see her like looking kind of behind me where there was like the flower section. So she walked over and grabbed a bouquet of flowers that was $27.99 or something like that. And she walks back over and her boyfriend's like giving her this disgusting look.
That wasn't a look of disgust, it was most likely frustration. Those flowers were almost $30. That's money that's coming out of his pocket, and he doesn't want to spend it on some plants that will die in a few weeks.
And she like puts them down in the belt and she like looks at him and she's like, I just really feel like I want some flowers today. And he starts yelling at her, like full on like, flowers for what? And there's like a lineup of people behind me and I'm like standing there and I think my jaw was like this. Had to pick it up off the floor. I'm standing there listening to him tear a strip off this girl. You never buy me anything. Like, why do you think you just deserve flowers? And she's like, because you never get me flowers. And he's like, well, you don't just deserve random flowers. And definitely not for $27.99. Sir, why do you have a girlfriend if you can't buy her $27.99 flowers?
We all know that he wasn't screaming at her in line. He was telling her that it's unfair that he should be forced to buy her $30 flowers when she doesn't surprise him with gifts at all. It's a fair point to make, and it makes absolute sense.
Like, that will make her weak. Why would you not want to make her weak and make her happy? So this girl is arguing back and forth with him and she's like, whatever, and like picks him up and goes and puts them back. And she walks back over and she's standing there and I can tell she's so upset. I'm just standing there and I'm like, I want to buy this girl those flowers. Like, and tell her, your man is a piece of shit and you should just like walk away now.
She didn't buy that woman flowers because she didn't have $30 to spend, but she has no problem shoving her nose in business where it doesn't belong, because complaining about other people's drama is totally free.
Because if he can't buy you flowers for no reason, what the fuck is he actually going to do for you in life? Like, I'm sorry. Like, flowers are like a smidgen of what you deserve, like every other week, once a month kind of thing. Like, to tell your girlfriend you don't deserve $27.99 flowers. Oh my god, I wanted to punch this man in the fucking face. I was like looking at him like, you're disgusting, piece of shit, nasty. So anyways, she comes back and she's just like ignoring him and he's like, hey, like, why are you so upset? Blah, blah, blah.
It's insane how these women feel entitled to presents, and when they don't get them, they turn around, pout, and give the man this silent treatment, which is something that children do, by the way, when they don't get the toy that they want.
And I'm like, I look at her and I'm like, I'll buy you those flowers. And she's like, what? I'm like, I'll buy you those flowers. Like, go get them. I want to buy them for you. And she like kind of laughs and I'm like, no, I'm serious. I'm like, please go get those flowers and I will buy them for you. Like, I want you to have those flowers. Like, you did not deserve to be spoken to like that and be treated like that by someone that you like obviously are in a relationship with, because you guys are buying a whole fuck ton of groceries together.
Even if what she's telling is true, what exactly did she prove here? That if you don't get your way on something, just act like a spoiled brat and you'll get what you want from someone else? I mean, that just gives her an excuse to not be an adult.
I was like, go get them. And she wouldn't go get them. So I literally walked over and I grabbed the flowers and I told the girl, I said, pay for these separate. Pay for them before I pay for my shit. Pay for them when this fucking loser pays for their groceries. I want her to have them. And she started crying and she gave me a hug and her boyfriend's like, you didn't need to do that. And I'm like, no, listen to me right now. I'm like, you do not speak to your girlfriend like that. I'm like, that is disgusting behavior.
There is no way she said that. If she did talk to this complete stranger that way, he would have no problem telling this woman to mind her own business. She's trying to take a mild disagreement between two strangers and make it about her.
And I was like, and I hope she leaves your ass. I really do. I hope that you leave here and you leave him, and I hope that you feel like a piece of shit. Because she did not deserve that. And that was awful. And he's like, oh, well, it was just her birthday a couple weeks ago and I spent a lot of money on her. And she's like, no, you didn't. And I'm like, exactly. Like, I can pick you apart right now, but I won't. I won't waste my time anymore. Like, you're a fucking loser. Get on with your life. And she was like crying and she was like, you're right, whatever. And she like walked away. So I don't know if they left together or what, but like, how disgusting. In front of all of these people too. I'm like, you're gonna talk to your woman like that? Like, I was like, oh my God, let me buy you those flowers, girl. You deserve those after he talked to you like that. Disgusting.
This story clearly didn't happen. She saw a minor disagreement and created this elaborate story where she's the hero of a random situation that had nothing to do with her. It's the closest thing she'll ever have to a relationship, in my opinion.
I said I was never going to come on here and talk about my dating life, but I don't know, let's have a little fun. I want to talk about the date I didn't go on last night. I'd love to get your take. Let me know if you would have handled this any differently. Now, first thing I want to say is that I have a 17-year-old daughter who has had boyfriends in high school and in middle school that are better communicators than these grown men. Literally, she gets treated better than any of the men that I've met online.
It is insane how these women will just thrust all of the responsibilities onto the man when it comes to the first date. She thinks her contribution is waiting for texts and spending 3 hours to get ready on the day of the date.
And because I'm older, most of the men that I date, they're in their like 50s or 60s and sometimes 70s. Like a lot of these men will lie about their age, and I'll go out, a couple times and then they'll admit that they're in their 70s. And, I don't really have anything against anybody's age, actually. You would assume with age would come a lot of wisdom, a lot of kindness. And not the shenanigans, like all the ghosting and stuff that happens when you're younger, but not so much.
She's not completely wrong. The older men on dating apps have more expertise. They've been around for long enough to know exactly what women want to hear.
So anyway, I connected with somebody online and I didn't have a conversation with him on the phone, which is something I typically would do before a date. Because he was out in the Hamptons, he was coming back to the city. He was like, a week ago, he was like, let's meet for dinner. Thursday night, he picked a time and a place. I liked the time and the place. So I said, okay. And I responded with my phone number and I didn't hear from him again. Like I didn't get any text saying, hey, it's so-and-so from whatever app. Look forward to seeing you. I didn't get a phone call.
That's because he was talking to multiple women at the same time. She was on standby as he was talking to a woman that he actually wants. This woman was the backup plan, and the backup clearly wasn't needed.
And then yesterday was supposed to be the date. I didn't hear from him all day. I had some friends that wanted to go out, and I was like, I don't know. I may be going out with somebody. I don't know. I waited until like, let's say 3:30, 4 o'clock, and then I assumed, okay, this is not happening. And I'm sure you're asking why I didn't text him to confirm. And it's because I have learned, and Sasha, you follow me, and I know you will agree, you can't do the work for these men.
This man put in the majority of the work. He planned the date, he set up the time, but apparently her sending this guy a 2-sentence text message to show her interest is quote unquote doing all of the work, apparently.
And definitely when you text a man, when you start getting into like texting, figuring out where to go, making up for the things that they don't do, that is really truly the beginning of the end. And I will never text a man again. Like I literally will never text a man again. Even men that I've connected with that are like, why don't you text me? The minute I take that to heart and text them, it's over. So you don't text a man. You do not confirm a date yourself. You don't let a man keep you hanging.
In other words, she's refusing to communicate due to a silly superstition. This isn't about having to do all the work. It's about her assuming that communicating will somehow drive away men. I mean, that just makes no sense at all.
So I didn't. I decided to go out with my friends, and then about 30 minutes after we were supposed to meet, he texted me and he's like, I'm at the restaurant, where are you? So I responded saying, hey, I didn't realize we were on. I responded to you, I gave you my phone number, and I never got a confirmation, so I just assumed we weren't getting together. So he was like, oh, well, do you want to reschedule?
This man shouldn't have even bothered offering to reschedule, in my opinion, right? She showed an unnecessary amount of disrespect because she was too mean-spirited to bother texting him first. Good riddance, the guy dodged a bullet.
And I responded saying, hey, I think we had a misunderstanding here. Since we, haven't been communicating, I think it would be a great idea for us to just have a conversation first, and then we can schedule another date. And then he responded saying, I'm old school. I really just want to set up a dinner. And then I responded saying, I'm also old school. Like, I like an old-fashioned gentleman. I'm all about chivalry, all of that. Bring it. To which he responded, okay, great. Same time, same place next week? Huh? Like, what could be more old school than picking up the phone and calling somebody? Am I wrong? Like, this is a block and delete. Am I wrong or am I right?
She's not old-fashioned. If she was old-fashioned, she wouldn't be single in her 50s, nor would she be doing nothing and expecting everything. She would also be putting in effort and showing some interest in meeting the guy, but hey.
Okay, dating over 40. Here's my one from last night. You can tell me what you think. Okay, this guy, we're messaging, we're talking back and forth, we're chatting. He has my phone number, I've seen him and everything. I will tell you about him and the situation. So we actually matched on a dating site back in, I don't know if it was December, it was around the end of the year. This is August now. So we matched and had a little bit of back and forth and was chatting. We became Facebook friends and just kind of going through it.
These women just love to give long backstories about how she met a dude online and started talking, but apparently the details of this story are so important that she has to spend way too much time on something that doesn't actually matter.
I was starting to get the feel for the person that he was and just thinking, I don't know that we're going to be the best match for each other. But one night he has my phone number, he calls me, and we're having a conversation, and he wants to go out, and I say, I've had a lot of experience, and at this point, I'm just kind of like, if I'm not feeling it, I'm just not feeling it, and I, just didn't see that we were going to be a right fit for each other. So I said that to him. I was just honest. I was just like, I'm not sure we'll be a right fit for each other. And he did not like that very much.
If a woman ever tells a man that she has experience, it just means that she has too much baggage. This has to be one of the worst things a woman can say to a man. Oh yeah, I have experience. Yeah, I can't wait to date that. Holy hell.
And he said, the reason, and I will never forget this, he said, the reason that you're still single is because you are judgmental and opinionated. I hurt my feelings really bad and hung up and blocked him. Well, then a few days later, I remember I was actually sitting at church on a Wednesday night, and I start getting these messages from a different number, and he was using his friend's phone. And then he calls me and he was like, hey, can we just start over? And, I was trying to figure out, like, is he just really desperate or does he just really like me? And he was like, I'm not desperate,
Women like this love to pull this crap. They always tell their stories in such a vague light, right? That paints them as the victim and the men nothing but hurtful monsters. There's more to this story and she's not saying a thing.
So I said, okay, I'll give you another chance. And somewhere in there, so we message a little bit, and he wants our first date to be at his company Christmas party, right? Big company Christmas party. And I just was I just didn't want that, like, go meet for a drink for a few minutes, company Christmas party.
Whenever a woman like this says that she'll give a guy a chance, she's already determined that guy to be beneath her, but she has nothing better to do, and she has no other potential dates. It's nothing short of an insult to a man to actually hear that.
Anyway, I didn't go and put him off. He ended up, like I said, friends on Facebook. Next thing I know, he's in a relationship with this, gorgeous, big, voluptuous, whatever woman. And I thought, yeah, see, I knew. Anyway, it doesn't work out with the two of them. And then somewhere in there, he messages me something about work. I posted and everything. And so we do meet for a drink.
She has blocked this guy twice, and he has nothing but nasty things to say to her. And yet, apparently, she still turns around and meets him for a date later on. So apparently, he's not as awful as she's been making him out to be.
At one place, and we go meet some friends at another place, and I still not quite sure. And it's not just that I'm not quite sure about him. Like, I don't feel a good match, that I would be a good match for him. Not just him not being a good match for me. Like, both ways I'm seeing. Like, I don't think that I'm the girl for him, or that he's the man for me, just all around.
This woman has said multiple times that they are not a good match, but she still ends up going out on multiple dates with him simply because she has no other options. That's why she keeps endlessly complaining. But anyway, guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Drop a comment, and I will see you all in the next one. Make sure you take care of yourselves, guys. Peace.